Despite what we have been led to believe, neither pesticides nor genetically engineered agriculture are needed, even if they would work, which they don't, to assure the world's food supply. This is a myth promulgated by the industry and government. While it doesn't increase, Jeff Smith made this point last night. Look, he answered in one sentence. It doesn't increase crop yield. This is a lie. And then he sat back down. Right, we don't need all these words, but it shows in a larger context, factory farming that it promotes and the monoculturing that it promotes are the ways in which the GMO pesticides industry uproots the commons and steals the resources of the global South and Africa, reminiscent of the European ruling class's theft of the silver and gold extracted from South America during the conquest of the New World. And in 1492, the indigenous people discovered Christopher Columbus on their beach. This is the cover of Eduardo Galeano's great book, The Open Veins of Latin America, where he just goes into the mining of silver and the conquistadors. Also, I might add Howard Zinn's book, A People's History of the United States. The very first chapter is loaded with heart-wrenching information about what happened to the American Indians following the arrival of conquerors from Europe, starting in 1492 and going on for a couple hundred, 300 or 400 years. So monocropping, as we know, facilitates diseases, allows them to spread quickly across entire fields. So you have a field that has only one crop, nothing in between the rows. Farmers know you don't grow crops that way. But corporate farming doesn't care because they have these huge amount of resources, and now they could just spray over a whole field so that you don't kill other plants, except you don't kill the crops that you want to pick. You kill everything else in the field, and monocropping facilitates that. Here's a protest in Washington Square Park in New York on Millions for Monsanto Day. There have been marches every year called Millions for Monsanto, Millions Against Monsanto, sorry. In Argentina and Brazil, huge swaths of primeval rainforest are being cut down to enable genetically engineered soy to be monocropped for animal feed and biofuels exported to the US, Japan, China, and Europe. One of the main opponents of the use of biofuels, of growing crops to extract fuels from corn especially, or sugarcane, one of the main opponents of that was surprisingly Fidel Castro. Again, nobody learns that Fidel Castro was a lead for the last 20 years of his life, was a leading environmental advocate and opponent of these giant corporations. Not only are the corporations as capitalists, but scientifically and ecologically. And it was quite amazing because nobody knew that either. In Indonesia, millions of acres of forest have been burned for palm oil production, for mining, and for cattle grazing. In Mexico, the Lacandona Forest, the home of the ancient Mayan people, and the Zapatista Rebellion, which is located there as well, is under siege by international paper companies as much as by federal troops. The planting and importing of GMOs are banned only in 7 countries: Nigeria, Bhutan, Kyrgyzstan, Madagascar, Peru, Venezuela, and Russia. Russia being the most populous country to ban both the cultivation and importation of GM crops. So, U.S. hands off Venezuela. It gives a whole new dimension to another aspect of what's involved here. And here's it says, if you can't read it, this is Vladimir Putin. He said, Russia needs to, this is the people who put this together, said, Russia needs to protect the citizens from GMOs. People should be protected from harmful products or products that have unidentified and unforeseen consequences for humans, especially when used for food. This one he got right. Maybe for the wrong reasons, maybe for the right reasons, but they banned it in Russia. I think the main reason for that is because they want to compete with the United States in agriculture so they could sell GMO-free and organic food.